I'm Mike. I definitely know the transcriptions are going to make that say that you're Melissa.
Well, that's because the Saharan dust, it's really been getting to me.
Oh.
I don't know about you, but
No, I just think it's because you focused on, you went, I'm Melissa.
the other morning when I woke up, I had like a scratchy throat, and I was like, oh. By the way, guys, if you're not watching, we are together
Back
today.
in the
Back-
multi-cow studio.
Back in the multi-cow studio. So that's also why we're only using one microphone if you're also watching. So anyways, I woke up the other morning and I noticed that I had like a scratchy throat, and I was like, man, am I getting sick? This is going to be really annoying if I'm getting sick. And then I also just started to feel real bad allergies. And then the news told me that the Saharan dust is doing its thing. So,
but they also said that that's keeping like the tropical storm type stuff down. Like it's keeping the likelihood of us getting any hurricanes down. So I'll take some dust to hurricanes, I think.
not if you felt how I felt. I've been trying to take allergy pills and stuff, but
not helping.
I just feel really crazy.
Yeah, well.
All they do is make me
walk
tired.
around wearing like some sort of a mask. Maybe that would help.
Oh yeah.
Like
True.
one of the not the ones everybody was wearing during COVID.
Like I might have a COVID one left over.
Yeah, not the COVID ones. The ones you were supposed to wear during COVID, but you couldn't get.
The R55 or yeah, I know that's not what they're called.
It's not, but.
Oh, anyways, today we're talking about hot takes. Hot cakes.
I misunderstood. I misunderstood when you said what the topic was going to be. I was all prepared to talk about breakfast foods. Oh, darn it!
I did the wrong research.
Yeah.
No, we're talking
you just delete that.
Yeah. We're talking about some hot takes. So, okay. So if you don't know what a hot take is, because you didn't,
right. I thought it was a breakfast food.
They're usually controversial, they're open for debate, and they're often about something many people can relate to. And they're interesting to talk about. So that's what we're talking about today. So
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I brought one to your attention yesterday, so we'll talk about that first.
I'm a little prepared for one.
Right? Yeah. So the first one is if you are out to dinner, not even necessarily on a first date, but like the example that was brought to me was if you're on a first date and you get your food first. Do you start eating, or do you wait for the other person to get their food?
Right. Okay, so, well, first date would be different than
Just in general.
Yeah, in general, right? First date, of course you're going to wait, no matter what.
Okay.
In general, I would say it depends. It depends on, did I get a salad? Is it something that's cold that I don't really care if it sits a little bit? Or did I get,
a steak
fajitas,
yeah,
and they're gonna stop sizzling. I don't want all the good fat on that to
I don't want
congeal.
The experience to go to waste.
Yeah. So in general, it depends if it's hot food and how long it's taking. Because that's the other thing is if it's oh yeah, I'll just wait and continue talking for a little bit. Because then it's the awkward thing too if the other person is just sitting there watching you eat. That's the more awkward thing is when the other person is just sitting watching you eat.
Yeah.
So,
I'm having a conversation with you and you're eating.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there.
And I'm just
watching.
nodding on. Yeah. But the other thing is too, if it depends on how long. If it's been 5 minutes and okay, now my steak fajitas are definitely cold, then I might go, mind if I start, or
because
or wait for the person to say You can go ahead and start. Don't wait for mine. Usually
I was gonna say, I feel like it's even more awkward because like I see your food here now. I keep looking at your food, just getting cooler and cooler. I'm seeing the steam go away.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to be polite.
Yeah.
But
also,
now we're both watching your food get cold. My food's gonna get here nice and hot.
Exactly. I think the real move is, again, if it's like a couple minutes and the person's, would you like some of mine while we're waiting? That's the way to do it. Because then you can eat yours because you're offering the person.
True. Or hope that maybe you got an appetizer they can still be munching on.
That's true too. Yeah, that's the other thing is if like you ordered appetizers and they're still working on the appetizer and your food comes, then they're eating too. It's just if you both got meals and no appetizers or the appetizer's been gone for 10 minutes, so you're both just sitting there. And,
so so do you think it's also so that's your take on it, but if you were at dinner with somebody and they got their food first and they started eating right away, would you think that that's rude?
I wouldn't think it's rude.
That's how I feel.
But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily think it's rude.
Like I would prefer you to eat. Yeah,
go for it. Exactly. Because but then again, I am still in that awkward situation where I keep like watching the waiter. Like, is mine coming now?
That's why I like when they just make it a thing to bring both our food out.
Bring it all out at the same time. Yeah, I've been in. I feel like there was a time where like every time we would go out to dinner, I would be the one that somehow my meal didn't get there. That they like, wait, oh, it didn't come, and then it was like 10 minutes later and everybody else was done and I was eating. So.
And it's awkward. It's also awkward though when you're with like a group of people and you are the one that gets it last. Like everyone else at the table. This happened when we went to brunch a couple times. Like, you're at the table with a bunch of people. Everyone else got their food, and you are the one person sitting there like just watching because obviously if you're in a group setting, everyone's gonna start eating. Like they're not gonna wait for you. As that's also the benefit if you're in a group setting.
I don't know though. I've been out in a group setting where like let's say there's like 5 people there or 6 people there and like 4 of them get their food. Yeah. Where everybody just kind of sits there for a second. I feel like there's always that when it first comes, people will sit there for like a second because they're like, oh, it's probably right behind and let's wait for them to get theirs.
Let me not look too eager.
Yeah, but then when like you do that, but then like a minute goes by and it doesn't come, then it's more awkward too because it's like, well, if I start eating now, they'll be like, oh, you waited a minute was enough, Yeah. But you're right, True. It's different in a group setting too than a date.
Than a first date when you get your food right away and you're like,
not even like looking. I'm just,
oh, thank God the food's here.
Yeah. Oh, yours didn't come. I'm sure it'll be here soon.
But I also, if somebody did that, I wouldn't be. I always wait just because I don't want them to think. I don't want anybody to think that I'm being the rude one eating without waiting.
But you don't necessarily view it. Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that.
I don't think that deep about it, but I don't know if the other person would. So I just try to be polite and I guess I'll just sit here and let my pasta get cold. Yeah. Like the sauce was looking real nice and
it's congealing now.
Hey, since their food's here now, can you pop mine in the microwave? It's the worst.
Also, shame on the restaurant for that.
Okay, so some of these that I found, it wasn't as like the same layout as the question I just asked, but one of the hot takes was that umbrellas are the worst invention ever made.
Why? Why are they? I will say I feel
they don't have gutters, so the rain just drips off the edge.
That's true. I feel like we're in desperate need of a technology upgrade on umbrellas. I will say that. Like they did the thing with them. Yeah. Like come on, it's 2025. No, but I feel like there was the thing a couple of years ago where the umbrellas, instead of opening like
Oh
out, they opened
yeah,
in
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of, or they
yeah.
closed in, I guess is the way to.
Still upped for like a messy situation
Yeah.
when you brought it in the car though, and now all the water that I just collected from it closing like this
Yeah.
and coming into my car,
Yeah.
now all that water
Yeah.
poured out. Did that
I
ever
still
happen
have
to
to.
you with
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
Like now
Yeah.
I still have to.
But right, like I feel like there
They
has to be a
tried.
better way. I need to ask ChatGPT to help me invent a better umbrella. Because I feel like that, right? Like the umbrellas that we use today are basically the same design as was used probably in, I don't know, the first century or something, you know?
True. Yeah. They just never felt like they needed an
Good
upgrade.
enough.
I much more prefer a rain jacket.
A poncho?
Over a poncho, yeah, over
Yeah.
over an umbrella, because at least that covers my entire body. It's not dripping
True.
as much as an umbrella, and
Yeah.
I don't
The
have
problem-
to. I can just get into my car, or into the place. I hate being the person with a wet umbrella going into
yeah.
like a.
Yeah, a rain
Store
jacket is
something.
superior to a poncho because the ponchos, like, it always, when you go to take it off, it's the same umbrella problem, right? When you go to take the poncho off, all
I'm
that
just
water
making
that's
a
sitting on the
mess.
poncho is just pouring onto my shirt now.
Yeah,
So
a rain jacket.
what did I accomplish? Like a rain jacket, you can take it off
I can
in a
take
way
it off,
that doesn't dump everything onto you anyway.
I think it flows off of it better. I'm just yeah. So I can agree with that one. Right, umbrellas are the worst invention. I don't think the worst invention
Not
ever
the
made.
worst
I
invention.
think
They're just desperately in need of a technology. Elon Musk, get working on a better umbrella.
Okay, and then the other one that I thought was funny is Netflix cracking down on password sharing is reasonable. I disagree with that one
I mean,
because I hate that.
yeah, I think the whole thing with that is kind of. I mean, it depends on the level to which somebody's sharing their password. Like, if you're like a college
True.
kid and your parents subscribe to Netflix and everyone in your dorm is using your parents' Netflix account all at the same time, then it's reasonable. But if it's like, if it's a family like us, if we're sharing, if we were sharing, the Netflix account between like a couple of households, but we're all family and it's just, I think it's, I mean, what I think they should have done is given like kind of an add-on option, like, oh, you want to add another household to yours, you can do it for a little bit cheaper, something like that.
See, how I look at it is when you pay for something like Netflix, you're paying like the cheapest version, I think, is like you pay for one to watch it on like one device at a time or whatever.
Right.
Or you could pay a little bit more to watch it on two devices or
Right.
whatever. So already, if I'm paying the cheapest option, where I can only, if I'm watching it on my phone, someone can't be watching it in the living room.
Right.
So it shouldn't matter who I'm sharing it with, because
absolutely, that I agree
I'm paying for one device. So it doesn't
Right.
matter if I'm the one, if anything, losing out on that, because I'm paying for one device and I just gave my password to like
Right.
a friend or someone else. And
Well, yeah, because like with our YouTube TV, we have YouTube TV, and they had like an upgrade to it that you could watch it, because I think it was limited to like maybe 3 devices, and we have like, I don't know how many TVs we have in the house, and then I want to be able to watch it if I'm on the road on my iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like $10 more for I think unlimited devices. So I was like, we'll just do that, and I think we got other perks with that too. But you're right, like if you're paying for the limited device one in the first place, you shouldn't care how many people have that account if they can only use it
One device.
on one device at a time.
because that's what I'm paying for.
Yeah,
I'm only paying for one device or two devices. Like if I'm watching it in my household, or I'm watching it on my living room TV and somebody else is watching it on their living room TV, it doesn't matter. I'm paying for two devices. Like
Right.
it shouldn't matter where it's coming from.
I also feel though like that move probably, and I could be wrong, I should look into this, but I don't think it generated that much revenue for them, because I think you had just as many people who realized that they were paying for a Netflix account that they weren't using, or didn't really, want to watch anymore, as you did people who said, "Oh, we can't share anymore. Now I have to go sign up myself." Like probably in that scenario, you had even some of the people that had the shared passwords that weren't using it. I think it's probably. I would not be surprised if you had if they did not generate a whole lot of revenue from making that decision, and they got like a whole lot of bad press and that kind of thing.
Especially in this day and age when there's just so many other streaming services that you can go to. Like, okay, yeah, fine, I won't use your Netflix anymore. I'm just gonna no, I'm not gonna buy my own Netflix. I'm just gonna get Hulu.
Right.
Or something like that. Yeah, especially because Netflix isn't exactly the cheapest streaming service anyways anymore.
Right. And I don't think, I wonder if that was part of it too, is that they were losing so much revenue because of competing streaming services. Yeah. That was their solution to it was, to try to add revenue by charging people extra when, like I said, I'd be very surprised if they made much revenue from that.
Yeah. No, exactly.
If they did, comment. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, so oh, this is a funny one. What if cats had social media? Would they post pictures of us?
Wow. No, they would not. Cats would only post selfies and pictures of animals that they want to, and pictures of their food and animals that they want to kill.
Oh wow, animals that they want to kill.
Like lizards and squirrels, and that's what they would.
I think that if cats had social media, they wouldn't use it that much.
Yeah, that's true too. Actually, no. You know what
they? Cats as like a social media user.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Cats are very self-centered.
Maybe like a scroller.
Yeah, could be. I do think they would post pictures of us, but it would be pictures mocking us. It would be like, look at this dummy.
Kind of like when we post just scrolls of funny cat videos, like. Yeah, that's what they would be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be like.
That's funny.
They would also post complaints about them not being fed quickly enough, because I don't know about your cats, but our cat, when he thinks it's time for him to eat and it's like taking longer than he'd like, he becomes very, very vocal about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then like I keep the bag of cat food, I store it under my bathroom sink.
Yeah.
But like obviously their bowl is out in the kitchen, so when their bowl is empty, I'm not going to feed them. I feed them at a specific time. Like if you finish all your food before then, sorry guys, like y'all need to take it amongst yourself, because who ate the last bit?
Right.
Potter. But so anytime though they see, mostly me because I'm the main feeder, going, but if they see anybody going like towards my bathroom, it's like, hey, wait, like they're chasing you down for it. Like, wait, you're coming over here for the food, right? And then we're going back out here. Like, they get real crazy about it. And then even when I feed them, I have to pick up the bowl, put it on the counter or something, because if I try to feed it, just fill the bowl on the floor, they start eating as it's pouring out of the cup. Like, no way are you this hungry.
You know what the other thing they would post pictures of? You'd constantly see pictures of a food bowl with a hole in the middle that's big, and their comment on it would be, food bowl's empty again, because like if that's got that little hole, it might as well be empty, because they can't eat, apparently, if it's got the little tiny hole in the food.
That is so funny. Yeah, so no, they wouldn't post pictures of us. No. But, let me know what you think. Maybe you have a different cat experience. I don't think mine would post a photo of me at all, actually. Even though I'm the main caretaker, I don't think I would get any kind of shout out, not even on my birthday or anything. I really don't see much appreciation. Even after I feed them, it's like, okay, thanks, finally. Like, yeah, right. And that's it.
Occasionally you get the headbutt.
That's when I get the most attention from them. Sometimes I like to leave it empty a little bit longer, just so that I can get a little extra love.
Right.
Okay, so next. I'm sorry, Mom is texting me in the other room. That's
No,
funny.
that's helpful. That's helpful.
Okay, the next one is one food for life, but it's healthy. What would it be?
Wow.
It has to be healthy.
It has to be healthy. Yeah,
one food for the rest of your life.
Healthy is like
one food for the rest of my
grilled
life.
chicken
like
is healthy.
Like I'm an animal. Like
yeah, like
where they eat that.
Is it just the pellets? Because if I just have to eat the pellets like we give the dog.
That the other day, yeah. Like imagine that's your food for your whole life. Like
right?
That is what you're harassing me for. Is right? This like
pellet? It's basically
dry
like
cereal.
Yeah, it's basically dry breakfast cereal
for the rest of your life, and that's what you're like.
Yeah, no thanks.
Squaring up for me for.
No, that's a tough one because like today we got watermelon and I cut some watermelon. I really like some good watermelon.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my favorite fruit right here.
Yeah.
So I tend to say that, but then I'm like, no, that would get
like for life.
Like too much. Wow, I gotta think about that one a little bit. One healthy food for life.
One food for life, but it's healthy.
I think it would be grilled chicken. Is grilled chicken healthy though? That's the thing.
Unless it's the kind of chicken that has like all those steroids and.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is healthy not kind of in up for debate?
But they say broccoli's not that healthy because it.
There you are.
It's a manufactured vegetable.
Corn isn't healthy, they say, because your body doesn't digest it.
Corn isn't healthy. Corn does nothing for you.
So yeah. I mean, yeah, what's healthy? Right? I mean,
baby carrots. Baby carrots are lab grown. They don't grow out of the earth.
No, they're not lab. Baby carrots. They don't grow them that size. Did you know this? You didn't know this?
They do.
No, they don't. That's a big carrot that they cut down into the baby size carrots.
No.
Yeah, that's. No. I swear that's what they. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. But
I'll tell you.
I saw that. So no, I think
baby carrots are grown in a lab.
They're grown
baby carrots aren't real carrots.
I mean, probably a lot. Grown in a lab. That just sounds like I picture like an evil scientist with goggles on, and what he came up with was baby carrots. That's like no. That's.
I have to sneeze and it's.
I want to make carrots, only tiny.
They're not just cut down. Baby carrots are made from real carrots. They are typically full-size carrots that are peeled, shaped, and cut into smaller, more convenient pieces.
Apologize. My
eyes are tearing.
They're not grown by an evil scientist.
I heard that they were lab-grown.
Wow. This is the first official A&M podcast. Mike fact check, and...
Wow, so maybe all your other ones are right. The process ensures a uniform size and shape, making them easy to snack on.
Yeah. See that?
And the nutrition is similar to that of regular carrots.
Makes sense because it is a regular carrot.
Okay, so something forever for me, healthy-wise.
Now it's baby carrots.
I don't know. I feel like if you eat too much of anything, even healthy, it's not good for you. Like
it would be the equivalent of eating the dog food.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the same taste all the time.
Yeah.
Like think of how sometimes you're hungry for something, you're hungry for a snack, say, and you're like, nah, I don't want a sweet snack, I want a salty snack. I want like potato chips or pretzels or.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying like what, dogs can't do that?
No, well, I'm saying if you're stuck with one thing, you can't ever have that craving for something sweet because it's like. Nope, I agree to only eat grilled chicken. So
yeah, like I think
this is all I get.
Like the thing is with an animal, they don't know anything else. Like they literally grow up only. That's why when you give the cat like soft food, they're like, "What's this?"
Yeah, I don't know about that though. I mean, like Cooper, he's new, and we think, oh, we're not going to feed him table scraps because we don't want him begging. He begs anyway.
Yeah,
We'd never give him table scraps.
I think they still have a sense of smell where they're like,
oh yeah, they have a better sense of smell than we do.
Yeah, what's that smell?
Yeah.
But in terms of like, like if you never eat fast food ever, you don't know exactly what you're missing out on. But it still might smell good to you. You know, you still might walk past the Chick-fil-A.
I'd really like to try those fries, but I agreed to only eat grilled chicken. So This is all.
Yeah, I don't know what.
When do you have to make that decision? Like in this alternate reality where I have to make that decision, like at what point do I make it? Because if it's like when I'm a baby, I'm just going to be eating like
are potatoes
smashed pears for my whole life or something.
Are potatoes considered healthy? Because I could do a lot with them.
No, they're starchy.
To make them not healthy.
They're really starchy. Yeah, they're really starchy. I don't think they're healthy. There's nothing that's healthy apparently.
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
Like maybe some leaves. There might be some leaves I could eat, and they'd say that's good for you. Like all that stuff. Like
you know what I would do? Eggs. I would choose eggs.
Yeah, eggs you could do a lot with.
I would choose eggs.
Right. That's true.
Eggs would be my eggs.
Also, yeah, I said grilled chicken. Well, it has to be healthy, so it couldn't be fried chicken because if I said, just chicken, then I can't go.
And then I'll fry
Today
it.
I want to fry it. Yeah.
You committed
but eggs,
to grilled chicken.
You know, it's funny. They used to say how bad eggs were for you. You know, high cholesterol, all that. Then I've heard other things that say they're really not that bad for you.
No, now they say that.
And they're very high in protein.
I read somewhere that eggs have, I forget, I could probably Google it right now, but whatever. For the sake of live television, I'm not going to Google it.
Live television? Okay.
They say that eggs have, I think it's like every vitamin that you need except one. I forget what the one vitamin that they don't have, but eggs are packed with.
Very high in
vitamin. Eggs are basically your multivitamin.
They're perfect food. They're the perfect food.
Yeah.
In a shell. And
you can eat a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Very, very true.
I prefer mine
Don't eat them like raw though. I don't think that. Well, Rocky did though.
I think that's
funny story. Funny story though. What? Wait, hold on. Funny story. Your Uncle Jimmy and your Aunt Joanne tricked me into eating uncooked eggs in a drink because they told me it was going to make me strong. When I was little.
You ate it?
It was no. Actually, it was last week. But no, it was when I was little.
Week. It was when I was. It was last week at brunch, actually.
Yeah. They said no. It'll make you strong.
Oh, okay. I've just been working out.
And I didn't get any stronger.
I don't think I would be able to do it because I think the texture would really get to me.
Yeah, I mean it's in like a drink. Like you're not like.
What do you mean it's in a drink?
It was in a drink. It was in a drink with milk. And sure, the yolk was there, but...
Yeah, gross.
Yeah.
Ew.
I think they also might have put chicken bouillon in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think they did. For some reason, I think they did.
You wanted to get strong that bad that
we'll have to see like... We'll find out if they listen to the podcast and one of them can comment on it.
Okay, okay, so these aren't ones that I highlighted, but this is actually really funny. I didn't notice this one. But it says, what mildly inconvenient superpower would you pick?
Mildly inconvenient.
Mildly inconvenient.
I don't even know what that means. Like invisibility. I would pick invisibility because when I wanted people to see me, it would be very inconvenient that they couldn't see me.
I would think a superpower though you can turn off and on, so it's True. Convenient as far as like mildly inconvenient. Yeah, I would choose probably.
Okay, how about super strength would be mildly inconvenient because people would always be asking you to help them move things.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I think that's the only right. It's like having a pickup truck. That's the only.
Exactly. Is having a pickup truck a superpower?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I pick for my superpower owning a pickup truck.
Okay.
You didn't say what yours would be.
That's because I don't have one.
Oh, wow. Okay, but come on, you got like laser vision. Laser vision, where you can burn things with your like Superman. You can burn things with your. That could be inconvenient if you trigger it when you have a couple drinks. You forget that you can turn your eyes into laser beams and burn things, and you like burn your dinner or something. You're staring down at your plate. And
mildly inconvenient superpower. I would probably choose. Mine would probably be invincibility, just because for the simple fact of inconvenient to whoever I am spying on while being invisible.
I thought you meant like invisibility because if I forgot that I was invisible and people were going, "Where are you?" and I go, "I'm right here."
Yeah, true. Again, mildly inconvenient.
Mildly inconvenient. That's just a funny term.
Okay, let's see. Oh, the customer isn't always right.
Is that a question?
Yes, it's just a statement.
That is true. Of course that's true.
So how do you feel about when?
So I used to work at a department store back in the day.
That is so random.
Yeah, we're just looking out the window here, and somebody just went walking past the front of our house. We live on a lake, but somebody just went walking past the front of the house with a kayak. It's not something we normally see.
That's so random.
But boy, now I forget what we were talking. That just totally blew my mind, and I lost all track of what we.
You used to work in a department store.
I used to work in a department store, and there were some customers, some regulars, I would call them, people that were in this store all the time, who were a little on the crazy side.
Okay.
And there was this one guy. I always remember he'd walk around the store like calling his wife's name. And
was it Ozzy Osbourne?
It actually it very much had the same like it would remind you a lot of Ozzy Osbourne calling Sharon. Yeah.
That's funny.
But this guy came up to me one time, and I worked in the auto department, and with spark plugs, you buy spark plugs for your car.
Yeah.
You know, they make a tool that you can use to set like the gap on the spark plug. The gap is like the space between the ends of the spark plug.
Uh-huh.
And when you would buy spark plugs, this is going into information that nobody needs to know. But anyway, when you buy spark plugs, they make them that gap can be set. That there's a range that you can set it to. And so this guy comes up to me and he asks me. He said, hey, why does this show like it can be this to this? I said, well, you can adjust them. You can set it to. And the guy starts yelling at me. Goes, you cannot. That's a perfect example of a case where the customer was not right.
You cannot.
And then he went screaming for his wife.
That's
Shirley.
So
his wife's name was Shirley.
Shirley.
Hey, Shirley. She'd be like 4 aisles away from him.
I was gonna say, was she ever there, or was
yeah, it was like she was probably
like
trying to get away from him, and that's why he had to scream her name like that.
This is one that I think we've talked about before. Cereal goes in first, not milk. I don't understand that because like who's doing it any other way?
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this before, I think in our one episode.
If you put milk in, we have talked about this. If you put milk in first, the ratio, there's way too much potential for the ratio to be wrong.
And the goal is to pour it over the cereal to
also
coat
true.
the cereal.
Yeah, also true.
If I'm pouring the cereal in or milk in first,
I think everyone can agree with this. If you're putting the milk in first, you're probably psychopathic.
You must just be pouring bits of cereal at a time. That's the only case that I would put my milk in first is if I'm...
The only time I'm going to add cereal to the milk is if I like the milk's already in the bowl and I'm adding cereal, is if I'm having seconds. If the cereal was really good and I want a little more, then the milk will already be in the bowl. But otherwise, yeah, that's psychopathic to add cereal to your milk.
That is funny. Okay,
that's
I don't know that one.
Oh no.
Are pets better at raising kids than humans?
No, because sometimes like a bird. Think of birds. Like if they always say if you touch a bird, the parent will just the parent will abandon it.
Why?
I don't know. But they say if you ever find a nest with baby birds in it, you shouldn't touch it because if the parent comes back and they can smell the human scent on it, they'll just abandon them.
Oh my God!
So
how dare you?
I definitely don't know many humans that have been like, wait, has somebody else been around my kid? Sorry, you're on your own.
Oh, looks like you found a new owner.
Yeah.
Hope
whoever was in here is willing to be your parent now, because that diaper smells dirty.
That's crazy. I think probably other besides birds are like that.
Yeah. Also, other animals, it's a lot easier. Like like Cooper's mom only had to be a mom to Cooper for like the first like 8 weeks of his life, and then she was like, "All right, good luck, son."
We find some humans to take. Yeah, Maple's mom abandoned her after a week or two.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like,
found poor
it's a
Mapes.
lot easier for them. Like,
found Mapes only a 2-week-old little babe. Like,
humans have a lot. It's like at least 18 years. In some cases, even longer.
Okay, this one. I'll make this the last one. Okay, it says, aliens arrive. Who do we send as our leader?
Oh. You know, it's very timely, and this has been a recent answer to questions on Game Time. But I mean, is there anyone else than Donald Trump? Come on.
Like, do we send our president, or like?
Yeah, no.
Do I find my enemy and send them?
Yeah, no. I think we either send him. No, I think we send him. He
could probably hold his own up there.
Yeah. I think like they would know not to mess with Earth. You know, if their intent was bad, I think they would know not to mess with
the aliens, the thing is, they're coming to the world.
Right.
So, like, why would we send our president? There's so many other presidents in the world.
Because, I mean, come on.
I think we should send somebody, like, you know.
Like who?
I don't know, like one of those really evil leaders somewhere else.
Like Kim Jong-un.
That are like abusing everybody in the country, like, true. Having everybody, like
that's
one of
true.
those.
I still say we'd send Donald Trump, whether he's still president or not. We'd send Donald Trump.
America's king.
He is America's, the world's king.
No, America's the best, the better of the countries. I feel like.
Well, yeah. Also that, like, I feel like if aliens came, they would come here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. Is that us being the self-centered Americans
we're
that like people talk about?
Apologies to all of those.
All of our international listeners. I'm sure your country is great.
Yeah.
I've just never been there, so I don't have anything else to go off of.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, yeah.
Also true.
I think I've been to the Bahamas. That's kind of another country, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Adrian always makes fun of me.
Maybe they'd go there though. Like they'd be like, that looks really nice. The Bahamas there look kind of nice.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go there.
Like, why would you come to America?
I think it also intends their intent. Like if they were coming, on like
a vacation.
Well, yeah, on a vacation. No, if they were coming here on like under good terms, like to start diplomacy with us, then maybe not.
Imagine.
But if they're coming here to threaten us, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
That's funny. You don't want to be in Florida. Go to Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, guys.
That was the last one?
That was the last
one.
Fun.
That was fun. I like that.
Yeah, those are good ones.
So Game Time Thursday will be whatever we call that first one of the month.
Our faves.
Our faves. That's what we should call it. From henceforth,
our faves.
That shall be known as our faves.
Yep. So yeah, tune into that.
Thanks for playing us. Right. I always say watching. Not everybody watches.
Not everyone watches, but you should, because they're more entertaining.
Right.
Then you'd be able to see that we're back together.
Yeah, and the cows.
Using one microphone.
The cows are behind us.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Bye.